Good. Have a good day. You're dismissed. Goodbye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome as people start to come in. So, where I've always said, and there are people that I don't like, let's just be clear about this. There are people that I don't like inside this community where I used to like, and I pushed, and I actually, the anti people that are in here right now actually said that I pushed him and accused him of pushing Brooklyn and made him get arrested. I was accused of that by the anti-auditing community. And I'm the one that got the person that knows Long Island. You know who you are. You're the one that made the phone call for me to help Brooklyn. Wolverine's been behind this whole thing the whole time. And Brooklyn does deserve, as much as I don't like his behavior, he does deserve the credit for taking the arrest and actually getting and listening to my mentorship as I mentored this man into making a major change for the 1A community. And this is how we do it. You know, it's not a pissing contest, ladies and gentlemen. It's for us. There's a bigger picture. I don't want no credit. Give all these guys the credit. But Long Island does not get any more credit than Brooklyn. Brooklyn's the one that put his ass on the line and listened to me and pushed himself inside of a place. You might as well call it a Rosa Parks moment, okay? That is what's going on. Everybody that knows, that is why I stood behind Brooklyn and put myself, mentored him, got hours and hours of conversation mentoring this man on the phone, explaining to him that there is no state law in compiled New York law that says that you cannot record in those places. I have an actual lieutenant where I have a 15-minute conversation before she released him on the third day. I'm the one that pushed his release that day. She had a back and forth, and her narrative with me it wasn't about law, ladies and gentlemen. It was about respect. I kept telling this person, ma'am, with all due respect, in the contents of respect, you understand that you took an oath to the United States Constitution and New York compiled law, and you're supposed to follow that. Nowhere in those laws did it say that you can't record inside these PDs, let alone all these precincts, in any public space. I'm the one that pushed that. And I'm not going to sit here and degrade what that man has done wrong. I'm going to praise what he did right, because I am always going to be on the right side of things. I am 53 years old. I am these people's elder, if anything, and I'm going to show by example by giving Brooklyn, Mark O'Connor, the fucking credit for doing what he did today, whether I like him or not, because that's what I mentored him to do. And a lot of people in the 1A did not believe those things that I said, and we got it passed. And I don't care if there's an appeal. They can appeal it all they want. No judge is going to reverse that ruling, because it's a federal First Amendment constitutionally protected activity that is rightfully so. It's a public space. You cannot, that's why it's established in law in Michigan. Under the harassment law, you will see the last line that describes harassment, unless the exemption is a constitutionally protected activity. We all know this. Before I go on to show this winning, that whether or not you've seen it or not, but these people that call themselves the anti-community, they never call me a frauditor because I don't fraud it. I don't lie. I ain't trying to get money. I haven't extorted anybody for any money or lied to them to get their money. They just say that I do things in bad taste and I'm rude. That is their excuse, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, moving forward, I just want to tell everybody hello, and I want to see what's happening in chat. Brian, it's always good to see you. Love you too, brother. Listen to this already. That order is being appealed and hopefully will be returned until the frauditors can still be locked out and allowed to record inside the pre. Oh my God! Listen to this butt-hurt communist. This right here is a butt-hurt, brainwashed person that's obviously hates America. You hate America, don't you? I'm not even going to call out your name. I'm just going to let everybody else see how ridiculous you really look right now. No Mercy, how you doing? 2A Actual Factual. What's up? Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. For sure. With the USA, democracy or that's right. Democrat or Republican. That's right. We need to celebrate this. This is for freedom, ladies and gentlemen. That precinct does not belong to the police culture. It belongs to people like Funny Bunny here. Funny Bunny, do you understand that this, I'm going to call your name out. Do you know that that belongs to you too? And you have a right to record in there? Do you know that you have a right to record in a public space? That is a full public forum right there. Any public forum you're allowed to record. Man, you should be celebrating instead of saying, oh, and not learning a lesson. Why do you people that are so entitled to say, oh, no, you've been wrong, and not admit when you're wrong? You need to concede, grow up, and read the Constitution for dummies. I'm serious. There's a literal packet that is in every library across the United States, in every library, quote unquote, titled The Constitution for Dummies. Bunny, go read that. Yes. Jerry, that's right. That's right. God bless. For sure. For sure. But these things are so important to this. This is what I stood behind. This is why I will always stand behind even people I don't like. Even people that I know that are Judases inside this community. I will praise their behavior when they're right, just like I will the police. And I will ostracize their behavior when they are wrong. Mac Dub, what up? Chili Dog, what up? Waving a hand for show. Yeah, I know we got some bootlickers. That's okay. Thanks for the super chat there. No Mercy Seat. God bless you for show, for show. And you know, let's watch a little bit of what this First Amendment auditor that I actually, you know, again, I don't like neither one of these guys. I watched this guy do some really stupid crap, but I'm not going to, just because they consider him, the bootlickers consider him a professional, and he's got a lot of subscribers, doesn't mean that I don't have a copy of him ratting us out and neutering us at the Connecticut state level and giving a straight confession to the sheriff. I will always have that, and until he goes back and announces that, he will be a person that I will never, ever be able to share and like and subscribe to that behavior. But we're going to show a little bit, just for educational purposes, what he did when he did go into this.
So they are in compliance with the federal. They are in compliance with the federal court order here. by Judge Jessica Clark. You see right here, Jean Paul Reyes against the city of New York. And on the last page, it orders them to remove their unlawful signage where we cannot record. We, the people, can't record. And as you can see, it was.
So as you see, they have taken down that sign on both sides of the door. This is at the 75th precinct,
right
ladies
here
and gentlemen.
before, I believe, and they did take the sign down. If they didn't take the sign down, they would be in contempt of court. So that is a very good thing.
See, that was over here too, and it was right here. They are all, we need, if I was there right now, I would be hitting every one of them with a copy of that. And I wouldn't say a word. And I would just walk past them, zoom in, record every inch of that lobby, inside that lobby, and sit down and record from the right, left, top to bottom, ladies and gentlemen.
So I want to make a complaint against the NYPD as a whole. Just a formal complaint against the NYPD.
See, gangsters, and this is why we always call them the blue line. Let me explain to you what that blue line is all about, ladies and gentlemen. That blue line, in the conversation that I had with that lieutenant, I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to show you what that lieutenant, this might be one of the people. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know what she looks like. But I remember what that lieutenant said. That lieutenant said, it's about a respect thing. It has nothing to do with law, and we should respect it. Isn't that what gangsters are about? Demanding respect, and if you don't, put violence on you. That's what gangsters do. Why is this person allowing this to happen? It's somewhere where we, the people, own and run. They are simply tools. And this is the evidence that we are the stewards. That steward, Sean, put in a long order of complaint. And this guy right here that's holding the camera is one of his attorneys. This attorney put all this stuff in. Congratulations to the attorney that went against the state. A statesman that went against the state and won. You know, I'm telling you, I am so happy to say this is a Rosa Parks moment, and this is what separates us from the rest of the world. This is why those people in the Middle East and those people in the East that, you know, are especially Russia and China can't stand us. Because we're able to function as a society that pays our public servants to do what's in the public's interest. The problem is that if you don't take down, don't come together, and if people didn't stand behind this steward they call Sean, if they didn't stand behind him and pay him a bunch of money to freaking put these briefs in, to be able to hire, you don't sue somebody on the contingents, you have to pay this. So he paid that lawyer the amount of money that that lawyer wanted to do this case. That is why they won this case, is because he paid from his pocket, and all those subscribers that out of, I think, the 500,000 that he has, helped pay for that. Thank you. Heads up to you. Good job. And this is why it's important that I've been watching that case, the Turtle Boy, and listening to the substance of what they're suing him about and why they have him in a position because of that state trooper and all the facts that's coming out in each section of the First Amendment and how it was used. Who's to say my expression can't be a blowhorn? Who's to say that my expression can't be a middle finger? Who's to say that I can't say, hey, you are wrong on 2 left feet, you piece of shit? Who's to say that I can't say it that way? Who's to tell anybody while in redress, while suing them, while yelling at them and holding them accountable in the manner that they do it? Who's to tell them that they can't do it? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I do know one thing. I know the law, and I have no ill will, no ill intent to anybody. And I want to see people prosper and move ahead. I want to see these channels. If you want to chase clout and get famous for doing it, fine. Get something accomplished like this. You will earn your clout that way instead of running your mouth and being a fucking racist and actually being the opposite of what everybody wants. If you have a racist intent and you don't like certain people because their culture aggravates you, shame on you. I have shamed myself in the past for things that I hold against certain people that I don't like because it agitates me. But I have to put myself in check. Can you, as an individual with constitutional rights inside of America, can you bunker down and shut up long enough to hear somebody else's opinion? Can you stop yelling and screaming and holler and have a conversation just for 5 minutes and say your point of view? And with that, I'm not talking about people that has already argued out and is trying to win in the court of public opinion. I'm talking about your own judge of character, listening to that individual, try to be friends with this person, to be able to forgive one another and move forward by trusting the facts that run concurrent, that will organically play out, that will put us in a position to be who we are as we organically play out our positions. It's just that simple. I want to say he did right by putting in a complaint in general to the whole NYPD after this, and this is what he's doing. So let's watch the rest of that. I have tons of substance to put with this, because I know he's the kind of guy that does, strikes and stuff. So
not a criminal complaint, like a complaint against the NYPD for a violation of the Right to Record Act, to take down the signs. I'm sure you're aware that the signs had to be taken down due to a federal judge ordering all signs being taken down that says you cannot record inside of the precinct. So I just want to, in that general aspect, I wanted to make a complaint against the NYPD. All right, no problem. Thank you, ma'am.
So it says no authorization past this point.
The sign has been taken down.
That's how they're getting around that. But at least they're allowed to come in here. I think the cell block is right behind them, and that's the reason why they stopped that. The way these things are met, the way these things were created back in the day. And this is why he's doing what he's doing, because you should be allowed in there. It doesn't matter. You should be able to go to the command desk and freaking record them. That is not authorized personnel. Those signs need to come down as well. That's the second thing we need to get them, because this lobby right here this is a corridor that he's inside. Okay. This is not supposed to be the lobby. And it's kind of like what the hospital doing with triage, right? But I need to, and if Brooklyn happens to be watching with his sarcastic Judas ass, you need to take your ass down there and file your 83 because you'll win. They did violate your rights. Those officers that put their hands on you in all 3 of them precincts that you tried to get in and you got arrested, you now have a legitimate freaking 83 on them and a conspiracy. They went as far as conspiring against you to hurt you because you had a black eye. You should be able, see, if you were just calm enough and respectful enough to chill and to understand that I was never your enemy and you shouldn't have took the bait. Right now, I'd help you get paid. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. You could find your own, and I'm sure you do. But that man, whoever's mentoring that man, get that man to put that 83 on him. He badly needs the 83 to put on these people, even if he has to do it pro se at first and then figure out who the hell he's going to do his talking for him. He needs to section off each and every time they did that. In every officer that put their hands on him, they are guilty. They are guilty of assault. They are guilty of kidnapping. They are guilty of cruel and unusual punishment. Because all this guy did was go to a federal court and get them to compel them to obey the law and take down, cease and desist, and take down those illegal signs.
And we were here, we were arrested, thrown out of this door right here, thrown out of the door by the NYPD tyrants here. It's amazing what we can do when we work together, ladies and gentlemen.
It's amazing. It's really amazing when I put all this together and show you the phone call that I made and hit the phone call that he made the night. Yeah, watch how I put all this shit together, okay? And then watch how people will say, you know what? You don't know who's working behind the scenes because people are so narcissistic and they will not give where credit's due. And I don't even give a shit. My relevance, it really don't even matter. I'm happy today. I am celebrating a bit. If I was a drinker, I'd be drinking. I'd have a six pack right here. You know what I'm saying? If I smoke weed, I'd be smoking ton. I'd have me a half ounce rolling freaking Garfines. Okay, I'm telling you. If I would be celebrating, that is a fact.
It's absolutely amazing.
See all this area in here? Let me go back a minute. Because I believe I've seen some shares in there.
We do when we work together, ladies and
see these chairs right here all along? See them? That is, see all this, see this bulletin board back there? Look at this, guys. Beyond this door, there's chairs and there's a bulletin board over here. And there's a bunch of public information. Everybody should be able to record that.
gentlemen.
What's going on, Jonathan? Ain't that awesome, brother? For show. What is this? I don't know who this is, but Fry for whatever. Hello, welcome. Jared Dixon, what's up? Yep. Every person they ever denied entry has been violent. Yes. The bare minimum, they need to say the people that they denied and people that literally took that specific directive and obeyed that directive under duress need to put that in the officers they should be fired in my and I'm looking at the mercy part of it. I'm looking at the grace part of it. I'm looking at they got to set a precedent here. We have to set a precedent because by us getting them to obey the law, right? I have looked under the New York compiled law and nowhere does it say that they have a right to stop you from recording. The only time they have a right to stop you from recording in public spaces, it says so in the law, is when you get arrested and they have a reasonable articulable suspicion that you committed a crime and they arrest you and stop that. That is in there, that the legislators wrote that in law, even though I believe that that should be challenged, because nowhere should any journalist and their camera be arrested, let alone be turned off. Let it go if you have nothing to hide. If there's nothing to hide, why do you give a damn? You're not supposed to touch any of it because they didn't commit a crime. I don't have to call anybody anything. You know, you guys come and see me. I don't go to you, brother. If I can't see you, I can't see you. If I can't pronounce it, I can't pronounce it.
It's absolutely amazing.
I'm the judge of my own character. I say what I want to. This is my channel, and I'll do what I want. I don't appease anybody. If you don't like me, I'll just leave. But if you do, if you want to see the truth, you want to hear the truth from a fat guy with a freaking camera, you're more than welcome to watch. Man, when rats, tell you what, I personally, I know too much about this guy, and unfortunately, it's bad.
The judge ordering the NYPD to remove their unlawful signs, which they did. They're in compliance with that. Yes, ma'am.
So he's gonna come out in a few minutes to talk to you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no problem. I'll wait here. Thank you.
See, now, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I want to put something else. They're so prejudiced against him with his camera that even though that he just got them to compel them to take down unlawful signage, they're still not letting them pass because now he, according to their perspective and what they were enforcing, he is making a complaint. This is for a witness. He is now a witness. He is now making a legitimate complaint. Why haven't they invited him in? Because there's still prejudice against that camera. And that is why if you live in New York, take your ass downtown and hit every one of them. And don't stop until you expose that unlawful, ungrateful. Trust me, there's still going to be tyrants in this. There's still going to be commanders that's going to gaslight them. I don't give a, right? Because they know they got qualified immunity that they said that they don't have. They got it. I'm telling you guys, they still have qualified immunity. They still will put themselves in a position where they'll take a chastisement and they will lose a position inside a precinct and then go to the other side of that city and work somewhere else in that state as a police officer, because that's how that rolls, guys. That is why we can't stand that thin blue line of tyranny. I believe, just like in MCC's case, they have that chief. That chief is now being considered for a chief down here in Pennsylvania. We got a story you might be breaking here, because they literally took that clip off MCC shit, and it's bullshit. They took some stuff down off mine. I don't know what they're doing. They can try all they want. We'll just keep posting it. And I got bigger channels that have 150, 200,000 subscribers that they would gladly freaking post my shit, you know, as long as I'm not cussing and, you know, and if I cut it down and stick to the facts, they will promote it. I do have a lot of people backing me up, just because there are some people that other people may know that it ain't, doesn't mean that I'm not being backed up, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just amazing, the difference, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. This is amazing. We did it only together. This federal law,
if this guy wasn't so hateful and if he wasn't so narcissistic, he probably would give me a call through his buddy on a three-way and saying, hey, thanks for putting me up on this movie. Thanks for motivating me and making me, giving me some constructive criticism to go help Brooklyn. Appreciate that, Wolvie. if he knew how to tell the truth, but most guys, they don't know how to do that. See, if that was me, I'd be going down the list. As you know, I don't like these people, and I'm still promoting them. What's that tell you? That tells you everything about my character.
Injunction has my name on it, Sean Paul Reyes, against the city of New York, but I did it with each and every one of you. I truly appreciate. I couldn't do it without each and every one of your support.
Yes.
This is a team effort. My attorneys at Latino.
Why couldn't I? About them giving a field sobriety test. Can you still? Hell yeah, you can record them. Who's saying you can't? Moving on. Nice roommate. I'm still elementary. Already level. No, not quite. Ironic alphabet yet. Yeah, I hear you. Of course they are. Yep. Let's see. They find another way to hem them up. Oh yeah, they gaslight them. That's where see what you're going to see now. The butthurt NYPD is now going to find ways to be creative, to show the why. And I'm glad this is going to happen because we're going to expose it. They're going to counter-react a judge. Remember, the judge didn't change the law. Sean didn't make change in the law. Sean made them get an order from a judge to compel them to obey the law. That's it. That's the same thing that I was going to do to Westland until they knew that I was going to get one of those cases back in the day where a judge compelled the precinct or the police department and the people in there to obey the law and follow the order that he gave that repeats the damn MCL or the policy in their written policy of that city, which in that city tells me that I can do a verbal. You understand? And they have to take it and they have to write it down. If I give you a verbal and it's 15 freaking paragraphs, do you think you're going to remember all that? No, you got to write it down. See, Westland, you think Wolby don't know what he's talking about? I just shut my mouth and I'm doing it different this time. People want me to be more respectful and more professional. Okay, I'll try. I have done it, but as you've seen, look at G. Gates and Taylor. Look how far he's willing to do it because I didn't come out with my verbal judo. Look at how these people made me go through hoops instead of cussing them out and getting my way within 15 minutes with a bad attitude against me. Now I did it their way, and I still got a bad attitude against me. And I got people that don't give a damn because they didn't see enough of Wolby biting that ass. And that's what people like to see. So it does. I guess it just doesn't matter, does it? Because I proved it both ways. People don't. I strategically do things all the time, and people take me for granted. I'm glad they do because it shows their rear ends, not mine. I believe all the little departments and their own little tyrants making those unconstitutional rules. That's right, and that's what they are, unconstitutional. Tri-State Audit News. Face blue, smiling. I guess that's one thing that they have on YouTube that doesn't come out on StreamYard. He's smiling and enjoying himself and waving a hand to us guys. Okay. The precincts, Jonathan, question mark. I think he's saying like they have a tyrant in every district. Oh yeah, there's 15 or 20 of them. So let's play the rest of this with this conceited rat that is speaking right now.
Justice. Every single one of you out there, all activists in New York City and around the country, we all put in the work. We all did it together. And again, this is not a win.
Yeah, you know why he's saying that, right? So when his buddy tells him, well, Wolby's got the conversation recorded when he called me to call you, he's going to prove. So then he's going to say in a little thing, well, I did give him credit. speaking in everybody in general, all over the nation. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I can dig that.
For First Amendment auditors, this is a win for the people. This is a win for each and every one of us. Right behind these doors, I was filming here in this lobby, and then right behind these doors here, that's when a female officer said to delete my footage, delete that bleep.
See them chairs behind him? There's 2 chairs right there. There's a bulletin board with a bunch of information to the public right there. That's not for employees.
Expletive.
Right here, there's several other chairs right here. And I think this window right here is where you go in to get certain information on other. I'll have to learn.
Can you believe that that's the mentality that they have here?
And a big blue line.
Not only can I record in here, you can record in here. We have Scalzo Photo here recording peacefully, ready to file his complaint. We're here to conduct business. We're here to, if you have a FOIA request you want to submit, if you have a complaint.
Yeah, but are we really talking about convenience here? Or are we talking about a nuisance? Right? What people think is inconvenient and convenient is irrelevant. What people think is a nuisance and what isn't a nuisance is irrelevant, especially when you're in a constitutionally protected activity. Understand, that is what makes us this great country. And the world hates freedom. We celebrate it. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I just happen to be a Christian and that loves God. And I'm going to give him the credit for giving us the strength and the courage to assemble. Remember, the word assembly came from our Bibles. They wrote the Constitution off our Bibles. He wants the church is the assembly. I don't mean to get religious with you when I say this, but it is in the First Amendment, freedom of religion. So in the Constitution, in the First Amendment, it tells you have the right to assemble. Well, it said upon this rock, which is a solid foundation, so upon this foundation, I will build my assembly, and the gates of the enemy shall not prevail against it. That's what it says in the Bible. Okay? That is where they got this First Amendment.
You want to lodge, you can record now for transparency and accountability for your government, for our government. This is amazing. This is a historical day here today. And again, I can't thank each and every one of you enough. The judge, Jessica Clark, federal judge in district court.
Jessica Clark, we give you a thumbs up for honoring your damn oath. Let's read what Jonathan says here. The argument is a moot point. The simple fact of the matter is we shouldn't be able to see private information from the public. That's right. So the onus is on them. And when they have a counter, right? And if there's stuff behind that counter, they need to put up something reflective, right? Not close down the whole damn lobby. That's not an option, ladies and gentlemen, to stop you from recording.
In Manhattan, made the right decision. Obviously, in my opinion, she made the right decision. She found that those signs were unlawful and that she ordered the NYPD to remove them. Not just
okay. So we know that the judge Clark ordered them to remove those unlawful signs. See, I told you. All they're doing is making them obey the law. He didn't change the law. The law is already there. See, like in Terry versus Ohio, when they added Supreme Court case law substance to what gives the right to violate the Fourth Amendment or to exceed further into a temporary inconvenience, right? You want to use that word? That temporary inconvenience. That temporary inconvenience is for a small investigation that leads the officer to reasonably, if he reasonably expects this person may be committing a crime or is about to commit a crime or has committed a crime. Okay? So when they're investigating, you don't have to aid their investigation. Your name your number, everything else is irrelevant to that situation. You shut up, you plead the fifth, and you let him investigate. And when they start to gaslight you on the secondary, you shut up and say, do your investigation because you obviously don't know why I'm detained. Investigate. And if you see the crime, and if you can articulate that crime to me as a fact, and I will give you that fucking thing. I will give you that piece of crack that you call ID that you fiend for so bad.
From the 75th precinct here where we were arrested. We were also arrested at the 61st, but every single precinct in New York City, the biggest city in the United States, the biggest law enforcement agency in the United States, we were able to come together and overcome them and defeat them.
Do you see how strong we are together, guys? Do you guys understand that it takes all of us to do this? If I'm talking to you big channels out here, just like Sean's, if you guys would drop your penises and quit calling people out their name just because you think people are a nuisance, you're starting to sound like the bootlickers. It's, once I realized that Barry Transparency, that was my boy too. Once I realized that he called a guy that's in this community that liked to appease everybody, that tried to get along so well, he fell out with me. And once I realized that he called that guy a retard because he couldn't pronounce certain things while he was articulating certain things to his people that like him, he showed me the narcissistic side that caused the oppression to not give a damn. So when that same feeling comes across the average narcissistic oppressor coming down the street that sees a traffic stop, and you hear a guy saying, "Help!" and you're just saying, "No, that's a cops just doing their job." That is the same reason why dude that has 500,000 subscribers proved to me that he can think like a bootlicker and he can't be trusted. I love the guy too, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to back down off the truth. Sure, I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm a lot smarter than the majority of these people out here, and they take my stuff that I mentor them, and they take credit for it all the time. And I don't give a damn, because me, I don't have to show the size of my penis to be the man that I am. I could sit here and say, you know what? Good job. It's good that you did it. My bidding will be done. I enjoy it in my head. I don't need to share it amongst 50 fucking people to kiss my ass to the white meat. Don't need it. I can kiss my own ass.
With the law.
Get my own
what's right.
head on the shoulder. I'm good.
Transparency and accountability for the people. It's
I'm
absolutely amazing. And again, I couldn't do it without each and every one of you. Right now we're waiting for someone to come take our complaint, as we tried to do the first time. Last time I came in here with the Right to Record Act law in my hand, and nobody wanted to read it. Nobody cared. I tried to explain to them that I had the...
And that is what I was explaining to Brooklyn. Nowhere in New York compiled law did it say they couldn't record. It says that you can record in a public space. You're allowed to record in public buildings. You're allowed to record the police in the course of their duty until you commit a crime. And then once you commit a crime, they can stop your recording. It says so in that compiled law. I don't agree with that, but it's a lot closer to what we wanted to get accomplished by recording in that public space that he's in right now.
That I had the right to record in the precinct, and law enforcement in the course of their duty, they didn't care. They did not care about any of that. They didn't go watch that video. I'll put some clips in here, but they didn't care about the law that I was holding. The judge cared. The federal judge cared, Jessica Clark, and she did the right thing, and she found that their policy to be unlawful, and the signs had to be removed. Thank you guys for the super chats. I can't really see them. Elizabeth, thank you so much, but I really appreciate it. I'll thank you guys at the end individually, but we're just waiting here to file our complaint. Obviously, no issues. No one's coming out and treating us like, drunk people at a bar. That's what I was treated like. They grabbed me up, and then when I refused to leave because I knew it was my constitutional right. And the crazy part is, ladies and gentlemen, is that I don't know if you could, I'll put this down for a second. I am still facing those criminal charges. So I want to be clear. I'm still facing the criminal charges from that day at the 75th precinct right here, where I was thrown out. I was charged with obstructing governmental administration. I was charged with criminal trespass and simple trespass in my own building, where we the people pay tax dollars to. That's what happened. That was the result. And we are technically still fighting those charges in criminal court after a federal judge says that we have the right to record here, that their policy is unlawful. So that's the next steps. The next steps is to hold them accountable for taking away my freedom, hold them accountable for taking my property, holding me in a cell in the back.
So now he's explaining what is in the law, in constitutional law, called cruel and unusual punishment. So when they gaslight you, lock you up for a secondary, put their hands on you, put torture cuffs in you, and put you in a rape cage for something that you did not do, and continue to articulate these things as it is, like whether it be disorderly conduct. The only way that you could be disorderly conduct to a police officer is if you threaten them. So that was one of the charges that they put, I believe, on Brooklyn at once. And then the trespassing. In order to be trespassed, you have to commit a crime on public property. Now, on private property, it's a different story. And that is the law that they're using, as on private property. This is public property in a full public venue. This is what we're talking about here. This is why they violated this man's rights when they did that. Whether you like him or not, he is correct in his assertion.
Absolutely disgusting behavior here at the 75th precinct, all for a man peacefully exercising his rights and trying to promote transparency and accountability and document the process of filing a complaint. But we did it. We won. We beat the NYPD, the largest police department in the country. And it's all thanks to each and every one of you. Couldn't do it without you guys.
But isn't that sad, Tri-State? Isn't that sad that the government let her know that people are watching and thank her for honoring her oath? Isn't that sad we have to thank them to compel people to obey the law that's already on the books? I need you all to think about that for a second. That's like thanking me for wiping my own ass and not smelling up the room every time I walk in it. Thank you for washing your booty hole. Thank you for not stinking up the joint. Really? Isn't that the onus on me to do that? Isn't that my responsibility? I wonder.
So for those of you just joining, we do have the federal injunction here granted by a federal district court judge. So I will be clear with you guys. The city of New York has filed an appeal. So this will go to the Second Circuit. This will be decided in the Second Circuit in federal court. I'm confident, and my attorneys are confident, that the law is on our side. The right thing to do is on our side, and the law is on our side. Transparency, accountability, and that's how we're confident we're going to win. We're confident we're going to win. Big win here, guys. Big win. This is a huge win for us, for we the people. Like I said, for transparency.
To me, it's a huge celebration, right? But the problem with this celebration is people were taking it as we made change in the law. The law did not change. Remember, the only thing that happened here is we compelled this judge to put a cease and desist order, it's the same thing. It don't need to say it, but it's basically a cease and desist order on the tyrannical actions of arbitrary uh, uh, policies that are put in place to violate the First Amendment.
And accountability, it's absolutely huge. Hopefully, we can file our complaint and then we're going to get out of here. I don't plan on spending the whole day in here, even though we could. That's not the purpose. The purpose is for everyday people, you, me, every single one of us here in New York City, that they can come into their police department, file a complaint against an officer, document that process, file a criminal complaint, and document that process. That's important for transparency and accountability. They always say that, oh, they have body cameras, they're security cameras. They control those cameras. We don't.
Here's another thing about those cameras he's talking about. Do you know we could FOIA request them? Do you know that we could FOIA request all that? And just because they do the courtesy of blurring people's faces out, doesn't mean that we have to, because it's a public effing space. Recorded from a public space in the plain view doctrine. There is case law, and I know this sucks, but it proves the narrative, where Peepin' Toms literally took a video of these two making love in a high-rise hotel, or in their apartments, excuse me. And then it got out, and kids got to watch it. And the police went and knocked on the door and arrested these people for disorderly conduct because they didn't close their curtains, because the onus was on them to do so. Because somebody from a space that they can record from, recording them doing something when they had the expectation of privacy, and yet they didn't, because they didn't close the windows, and the plain view doctrine applied, and they made a deal. Ain't that a bitch?
So it's important to have our own record so we can hold them accountable. Big win here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy. When my lawyer texted me, Andrew Case, and he told me that we got our injunction, nothing could have made me happier in that moment. Nothing. This is one of the best days of my entire life, 100% the best day of my entire career as an activist here for the United States as a whole.
You're welcome, Sean.
As you know, I travel across the country from Hawaii to California.
Brooklyn needs to be telling him to his face, you're welcome, Brooke. You're welcome, Sean. Tell him, Brooklyn, if you're watching me, tell him you're welcome.
New York, Florida, and everywhere in between. Hey, how are you, sir?
Nice
to meet you, Sarge. A complaint. Can I just get your name and badge number, Sarge?
1664, Sergeant Singh.
Sergeant Singh. And I just wanted to tell you, Sergeant, first of all, thank you. It's nice meeting you. I wanted to tell you that I appreciate you guys being in compliance with the federal court order that was issued and removing the unlawful signage that was here before. So I appreciate you guys not being in contempt of court and following the law and proper procedure there. So I just want to say I appreciate that. I'm going to fill this out, Sergeant Singh, and I'll hand.
Isn't that sad? We have to say I appreciate this. I appreciate you doing what we already pay you to do. He's a tool. I would be a little more stern in what I would say. I would say, it's unfortunate for you that I had to go and do this, and it's unfortunate for everybody else out here that we had to go pay $495 to get you, and then whatever this attorney fees went into the thousands. I shame you for making me spend all this money to do what you were compelled to do to begin with. Shame, shame, shame.
Get it back to you. Okay.
Do you need any assistance with that?
I don't need any assistance. No, it looks pretty self-explanatory. I have it here, and I'm just going to go over and document that process with the people that are watching, and so that way they can feel comfortable coming in here and doing the same if they had any issues with the NYPD or make any accommodations with the NYPD. So thank you, Sergeant.
Accommodations? So you're willing to see, again, this is what got him in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. the words that he's using, this is what made him made his first mistake a long time ago, several years ago, when he was recording the state police from 15 feet away behind, not in the middle, but behind the scene on a sidewalk while recording a traffic stop. And he apologized to that and made accommodations by apologizing to the sheriff of that county so they wouldn't put him in jail. Say it. Say it.
Good saying. I appreciate it. Okay. So I could
Let
just
me know if you guys need any help.
thank you. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
hope it's not one of them accommodations.
So we're gonna fill this out here. So let's look for a spot to fill this complaint out. We are filing the complaint against the NYPD.
Yeah. Let me look at that again. Chair. Public information, public slots for public information.
Make sure I'm in the frame.
Let me see. Hold up. Let me look at that again. Let's look at that again, guys.
So let's look for a spot to fill.
Another chair. Chairs over there. More public information and slots right there. See all that? Look at it. Come on, man. That's all public, guys. There's that signage right there is illegal.
Fill this complaint out. We are filing the complaint against the NYPD for. Hold on, let me make sure I'm in the frame here. It's kind of, I don't know where I'm going to put this while I fill this out. There you go.
So he's going to explain why and what he's filling out, and I guess that's, or he makes the excuse of saying he'll fill it out later. I don't know, because I didn't watch none of this. I'm organically letting this spiel out the way it was organically played.
People, this is a win for each and every one of us for transparency and accountability. 100% win here. It might say my name, Sean Paul Reyes, against the city of New York, but it's more than just me.
It was the 1A community against the city and the tyrants of the New York Police Department. And that, I want to end that and go back to the celebration and how happy I am for the 1A community. And if you guys have any comments you want to make inside this small channel, and any observations that you have seen, that you have witnessed while following this case, while us putting it together, trying to make sense of why people in the middle of this case were turning at each other, you could put that in there. You could say whatever you want to say, but know at the end that we got it done together. And if it wasn't for people that sacrificed their rear ends, like Brooklyn, for me to get a hold of this punk, right, to go and help him while we were still getting along, we wouldn't even see none of this. Anyway, God bless. I'll see y'all in the comments. I'm back quiet reading the mail for show. See ya. What wanna be ya.